Alright, this is going to be another best of 3 series from the map contest tournament. This will be featuring in the blue, this is Snoxtar. Also playing Infernal in the red, this is Wallace. And we are playing on Emberfrost. This is a quarterfinals match, best of 8. The round of 8, I should say. And this is our first game. Again, this is a larger map, lots of bases, potential for a very long macro game. 3 Stormgates, 2 sort of out in the boonies, 1 right in the middle in this giant spiral patch. It's also kind of a narrow battle location. It's a little harder to get in there. Ramps on both sides. Then there's a bunch of spiky spikes. Don't want to get caught in the spikes. Or in the demon flaming spikes over here as well. With this cool little star pattern thing. Oh my goodness. What's going on here? There's like bodies that are just impaled on the spikes. That's what I'm talking about. All these heads. Who got all their heads impaled on the spikes? That's not cool. Okay, I'm obviously spending my time looking at spikes and heads on spikes, which are pretty cool. Thank you, map, for making this map where you put heads on spikes. Or bodies on spikes over here. But we got a third base going down for Snoxtar. Have they even scouted each other? No. No units have moved across the map yet. We're 2 minutes in. And they're playing No Rush 20. Or they're playing No Rush 10. Maybe No Rush 5. Maybe No Rush 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Because that's when the first Stormgate comes out. And then maybe some action will happen. The third base, almost done for Snoxtar. Pretty similar timing here for Wallace. In terms of production, it is 2 Vault and a Conclave. With Ritual Chamber behind this. Very interesting. Wonder if this is a change in the meta. Ritual Chamber. And that's to get the Cursey McCursersons. I'm pretty sure that was called. Let's see what it's really called. Soul Brand Chakrams. So that you can curse people. Soul Brand Chakrams.
Dimensional rift detected.
That's the new Plague Axes.
Activate soon.
They got rid of Plague Axes and then they brought it back. Beans, some scout beans from Wallace.
A Stormgate has appeared.
Stormgate up, the fiends. We've seen this in previous games. You only need 2 fiends to capture it. And Snoxtar sends his own 2 fiends. But okay, they might, yeah. Wallace has the control to pull his fiends back. Captures the Stormgate. Snoxtar retreats. Gets a Faerun. That's just insurance. Snoxtar, this map is so big that Snoxtar didn't have the opportunity to say, oh, you have committed more units here, I can go attack your base. He never would have reached here in time. Even these fiends trying to get there end up getting taken out. So Wallace puts down a 4th base behind this, getting the Stormgate win, which means getting the Faerun, and getting the kills on those fiends, which is not a lot, but it's a small resource advantage. He decides, I'm going to go for a 4th base behind this. We have some static D for Snoxtar, the form of a Shroudstone. What's this? Another Pyre. Okay. Pyres are the favored, I think, just like farms were back in the day. The new Shroudstone's not quite as good. Well, the new ones are better than the old new ones. The old new ones were pretty bad. Fiend gets in, scouts around, sees what's going on. Then gets taken out. We got this couple extra vaults going down over here. This base is up. So fourth base is up, not saturated yet. And I think these two are practicing a tried and tested rule in Infernal, which is don't attack. Do not attack your opponent. That's how you lose the game. We have at least had them walk across the map a little bit and scout each other, so that's good. Otherwise it would look like we're playing in my league, the gold league. I'm technically in bronze league right now, but I think I'm a solid gold player. Where it can go 10 minutes where neither side has even cleared the fog of war on the other side. We're just macroing, dookie dookie doo. Now this was very brave. I don't know if you guys saw, but this Harbinger flew over the spikes. And there were all those bodies in the spikes, so you'd be like, oh my goodness. Of course, I am just teasing. We get some pretty good damage here. A couple imps go down, but imps get pulled. There's lots of gremlins there, and I guess... Oh, wow.
A Stormgate will activate
Lash.
soon.
Oh my goodness. That I didn't even know you could do that. Thank you for teaching me a lesson there. You can lash down the dropship. Now he got really lucky because all the gaunts had just loaded back up into it. And it hadn't completed lifting up in the air. You can't lash it if it lifts in the air. Now we're going to get a fight in the middle. Effigy in the back, effigy in the front. A couple of Magmadons here. And there are some tight chokes here. That's what I meant about being around this Stormgate here. Is there's a lot of sort of choky spots to fight. I think this is kind of in the favor of Wallace, who had a little bit better concave on the top. Now it is Snoxtar's turn to try and get a concave, but Wallace gets actually a nice wrap around his brutes and pushes them back. He's got some shadow flyers here. That's curious, just in case there's dragon to deal with, maybe another dropship maybe to deal with. We have void prowlers. They immediately kill the effigy. Where are they headed though? That looked like it worked out fairly well for Wallace. And Wallace was on 4 bases earlier. He's now getting on 5 bases. Void Prowler's coming over here. Fighting gremlins is never what you want to do. But once those gremlins are cleared, there are a few imps that can get chewed on. And while this is going on, there's a huge battle here. Wow, lots of cursed units making it hard to see who's who. Looks like Snoxtar might be getting the advantage here in the nice defend. Gonna kill another Weaver probably. And sadly this other Weaver is also gonna go down. It's Wallace's turn to run. He's got 4 imps here, not sure what that was about. They get taken out, probably just a misrally. I do it all the time. And Snoxtar deciding maybe to back off. Nope. Like I said, there is a rule, never attack. But he goes right in here where he faces off with a ton of gremlins, allowing for Wallace to sort of circle around. And while Snoxtar's going to be killing imps and tribute pyres down below here, oh, Flame on Imps get some really nice impacts on part of Snoxtar's army. Wallace is definitely going to get a defend here. More imps, everything dead. Wallace doing a good job here. Now he did have to sacrifice a lot of imps to do that, but he does have an extra shrine. Oh, there's one sad imp there who's like, I had already lit my flame on. How do I turn the flame off? Is there a flame off button? In any case, I do think Wallace leaping into a little bit of a lead here. I mean, he's been doing pretty good. Most of the engagements have been going his way. Now, all these brutes are really low. I don't like that. Could have taken a second
Dimensional
into
rift
healing.
detected. A Stormgate will activate soon.
And once again, Snoxtar using that defender's advantage. We get a stop and fight here. Don't want to lose those weavers, they're important.
A Stormgate has appeared.
Now, Snoxtar's turning, it looks like, to go for the Stormgate. What are imps doing? Definitely some misrallies here for Wallace. Possibly during some of that harass. Now, Snoxtar's going for this Stormgate, which is a good idea. However, it's putting him quite a bit out of position. And Wallace has decided to take advantage of this and just swarm on top of this base. But it is now his chance to take the fiery kiss of a flame imp. Shadow Flyer on Shadow Flyer violence is the worst kind. Really senseless. Oh, Dragon dead. More flame imps. So maybe the flame imps on the field were not all, or all the imps on the field were not a mistake. Although Wallace actually ends up losing everything there. And finally, for the first time, it is Snoxtar who's got the supply lead. And he is going to be able to just come in here and destroy this base. I think the problem is a lot of Wallace's imps have gone into the army, which has reduced his income significantly and has led to this stage. Now, will he be able to defend here? If he can, he might be able to stay in this, but if he cannot... Oh, we got a swarm mama, and her little swarm babies up there swarming. And Snoxtar's unit's largely cleaned up here. Still a Hellborn and some Gaunts over there. But the swarm mama, did she die too? I think so. So Wallace did hold, and somehow supplies back at it. Back even. Ooh! Oh, this is just a block. Like, was there a base there? No, that was just a block. Okay. And blocking with farms is something I hear the Korean Infernals are doing a lot. Placing farms on the map, because they're little scout farms. They're pretty cheap, if you got imp. Now, Wallace is imp starved at the moment. He's starting to saturate here. Let's just do a quick check. That one's satch. Saturate. Ooh, one less. That's fine. Those imps can be transferred. This one's mined out. This guy's doing fine. And this base will go back up. We're getting transferred imps here, more than we need. Same thing, mined out in the natural.
Dimensional rift detected. A Stormgate will activate soon.
Probably going to get mined out in the natural for Wallace here in a second too. Fiend's getting a cancel. And forcing the army over here, although that's where the Stormgate is.
A Stormgate has appeared.
So it looks like Snoxtar is going to be able to come and get it. The Fiends are like, well, we'll tug a war with you. We have the highest DPS. And Wallace is going to come in here. I think that Snoxtar has the better units. Although he has a lot of air. Some of them are Spriggans, and the Spriggans actually are really good against the comp of Wallace, who has nothing to hit air. And a deep one pops out. Deep one gets lashed in, but that doesn't do much unless you have units that can focus fire it down. The deep one is going to just go to town, and Wallace is going to get wiped out. Pretty sure that's a GG here. We're almost 80 supply lead. Wallace doing his best, but with a bunch of brutes, our best you can do is wipe out that ground army. And interesting, Snoxtar choosing not to commit there. Especially when that vault's at like 42 hit points. Where is he going? It was a pretty well defended base. Well, I mean, we can see a lot of things he cannot see. So it's maybe thinking I'm just going to go find a softer target. He's going. I love how in these games you telling yourself, he's like, I'm going to go for that base first. Why? Because I have that base. And I'll go for this base. See what I can do here. Now, by walking all around there, he allowed Wallace to get a slightly bigger army, but not big enough. That's a really nice concave there. And we get GG from Wallace in game number 1. Here we are. We're on Short Circuit. My favorite of the new maps in the map contest, personally. I just love all the little wires that are hooked up to this mine. Look at the batteries. Oh no, they're draining all the luminite energy. I don't know what's going on. It's just cool. It's cool. Let me introduce our players once again. In the blue, hoping to take game number 2 to force a third game. This is Wallace. In the red, also playing Infernal, he is Snoxtar. Build order different right now. Double vault opening from Wallace into a shrine. Whereas Snoxtar opened shrine into single vault. Oh, I lie. Double vault. Nope. Vault conclave. So Snoxtar going a little bit more economic. Probably thinking a little bit later into the game right now. Okay, wait a second. Wallace has 2 vaults, but then he's going to go 2 shrines behind it. Puts down the shrine. Now, this is... It might seem... What was that? What? Oh, wait. There's asteroids flying around. That's kind of cool. So one of them flew in front of me and it looked weird, but it was still cool. It distracted me. The vaults here... You might think, hey, you're not doing anything. Why did you make these vaults? Well, it can get you some tech started. What's this here? Conclave. If you really wanted to tech, that's not what he's doing. He decided to go economy behind this. Try and just get some imps going. But he's saving the charges on these. If it had happened to be the case that Snoxtar had gone a rush or more aggression, then he could use the charges in there to maybe pop out some brutes pretty quickly and defend. So he needs the 2 vaults just to soak up some charges. Now, because he did choose to go that, it's a slightly safer expansion pattern. It means Snoxtar got his shrine earlier, probably got a few extra imps out of it, was able to start mining a little bit sooner, might have just a little bit more of an economic advantage.
Dimensional rift detected. A Stormgate will activate soon.
We're seeing Snoxtar adding a health forge here. Where is that? Oh, right by. Now, did he finish his Soul Brand Chakrams?
A Stormgate has appeared.
We'll see here. This brutes versus brutes and gaunts. More brutes. Ooh, the brutes trying to get on top of the gaunts. Getting 1 gaunt already. Nice micro from both of them. Now, for Wallace, I would almost split up. Yeah, I like this. You don't use all your brutes to attack the gaunts. You use 2 of your brutes to go for the gaunts, while your other brutes fight their brutes. That's what I would do. Now, I'm also not master's level, and Wallace certainly is. And if I ever played a game against Snoxtar, my win probability would be 0. It's still a nice little skirmish. I think Wallace has the number advantage here. They both got the same number of gaunts, but the brutes are definitely Wallace's. And Wallace wins that, and it might be able to win the Stormgate now. Stormgate only has a third of its time left. So that means if Snoxtar was able to continue the pressure, he might have been able to deny it. But we heard that it was won, and it is going to be a creeping horror. Are you horrified? For it is the creeping horror. Walks all the way across the map, kills an effigy, but yet damage dealt. Probably wise. There's a big army here. Defender's advantage and all that. Remember, we saw a lot of attacks last game that ended in the attacker losing their army or being greatly crippled. It went back and forth a little bit. Single Fiend scouted over here. Now this is the 4th base for Snoxtar. 4th base for Wallace also just finishing it, looks like here. Vault. Lots of extra vaults going down. We're also getting the Infernal Fury finishing off here for Wallace. While it does look like that is either Reaper's Rush or our Soul Brand Shotgun. It's Reaper's Rush coming down for Snoxtar. Both of them also producing their Twilight Spire right now. There's a Twilight Spire for Snoxtar, also just finished. While the Twilight Spire for Wallace just finishing now. Notice how it's put in the back of the base. I often do this too. It's for your flying units. They can fly.
Soon.
You want your vaults and stuff as your base expands and goes forward. You want your vaults to be more forward. Same with your conclaves, the new ones you build. Also makes for a good defensive structure, given the way that charges work.
A Stormgate has appeared.
Having a vault at every base, so you can just pump out a brute or a Magmadon or something. This Stormgate is going to be uncontested. Wallace is going for Snoxtar, not sending any troops. Snoxtar has a bunch of brutes. And they're in a slightly defensive sort of positioning here. What do we get out of the second Stormgate? We get the big old squiddy baby, which, to be honest, is one of the worst ones. It doesn't do much. But we got a bunch of brutes loaded up in there. 12 brutes. 16 brutes? Okay, I lied. That's a pretty big doom drop. But where's he going to take it? Right in the back? Because we got a bunch of brutes at the front here. These brutes on the side, I like this. Because he's trying to distract the units. But Snoxtar's too good for this, and he knows. He says, if you're sending 3 brutes over here, where's the rest of your units? And he wisely finds the big old floaty cosmic horror squid creature. Imagine being like told like, oh, we just found this cool squid creature. It's got a real nice pocket inside it. Why don't you all cram up inside this pocket? Why don't you and a bunch of other brutes all cram up inside the pocket? Wouldn't that be great? Let me get in the squid pocket. Anyways, the brutes are all dead. They'll sacrifice themselves. I don't know if those things are connected. the squids come over here to these imps and he's like, "Hey imps, you wanna you wanna go for a ride? I got a pocket." Okay, enough about the squid pocket. I'm sorry. So Wallace is out on the map just a little more forward and a little more, you know, trying to control the map. Has fiends running around looking for bases and armies and such. Where is our army of Snoxtar? Snoxtar, I think, is full on like... I'm really not attacking this game. I almost lost last game a couple times by attacking. This game, I am full on
Dimensional rift
not
detected.
attacking.
A Stormgate will activate soon.
Although here he's moving out. Big army move out. I don't like how the pathing has got him going two different ways. That when that happens to my army, I'm always like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. It could turn into a nice flank at times, but it also could mean that you get flanked. Wallace is, I think, outmatched in this battle, although he's got a fairly nice concave and a lot of Snoxtar's units are fighting the Stormgate right now. That means the units of Snoxtar are starting to get whittled down, and Wallace might be coming a little bit ahead here. We do have a dragon showing up for Snoxtar. That's going to be quite important. And now the concave, it looks like, has turned in Snoxtar's favor. And what did he get? Power Stone or Soul Forge? I'm not sure what he got. Power Stone, I think. Yeah. We have an Avatar Dragon. This base is going down here. Wallace sadly has half the supply here. And with half the army engaging his army, while the other half is destroying his base. My bad on the zippity-doo-dah there. This army cleaned up while this other army here, which was dealing with a small subset of forces, is now going to be the main target. Few units here just destroying bases. Flame imps trying to get on top of the Hellborn, but mostly impacting on Bruce. And a good game, well played from Wallace.